Hello, everybody. Welcome or welcome back. My name is Monique and welcome to Medora Budgets. I'd like to thank anybody who's liked or commented on any of my videos, and especially those that have chosen to subscribe to my channel. Truly started this as a way to hold myself accountable, but I understand, recognize, and appreciate the community as a whole. So if you are rocking with me on this journey, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you haven't made up your mind yet, sit with me for a spell. At the end of this video, if it's content you find valuable or enjoyable, please feel free to subscribe. It's myself and Sweets. Married with a whole bunch of kids, trying to figure out our future family and finances so the decisions we're making now won't negatively impact us in the future. Today is Wednesday, the 13th, and you'll probably see this video on Friday. We're here to do a budget closeout, a budget with me, and expense tracking all in one. Let's see how far I can get before I have to stop the video because it's starting to get too long. So we will go ahead and scooch on in here so you guys can see some information. So first of all, as far as the budget is concerned, I have, as you can see here, and it might be difficult to read. Let me see if I can come in a little bit more just to help you be able to read this information. And I'm going to go with what pen today? What pen today? Let's go here. Yeah, we can use this one. All right, so for our November budget, everything has cleared that's supposed to clear up to now, to include this Apple Care and AT&T. So everything is done, and we are anticipating getting a check on the 15th. This is an overflow, an abundance, or a magic month, however you refer to it. But I do get paid on 3 times, on the 1st, on the 15th, and on the 29th as well. So for my no spend days, I've gotten 6 days in. So today is the 13th. Today will not be a no spend day. I've already gone and gotten some coffee from Starbucks that I had some cash to pay for. With that, all of my gift cards have been used up, so they made me pay today, y'all. Today won't be a no spend, but I do have, up through today, I do have 6 in so far, so I'm not doing too bad. As far as the budget is concerned, and I'm going to go up a little bit more. Let's try and make sure you guys can see everything on here. Let's go up a little bit that way. There we go. All right, I think you guys can see all of that. Okay, so for the week of the 8th through the 14th, I did roll over $429. I paid my AT&T bill. We skipped water. Water comes out on the 15th. I have actually turned off the auto pay for my water because this last month is $68. So, I was having the water issues. My bill went from $25 to $36 to $52. It's $68 this month, but the month of October is when I actually got everything fixed. I didn't get it fixed until like the 22nd, 24th, somewhere in there in October. And the statement, as far as the water is concerned, it ran from October 1st through October 31st. They checked the meter and then sent me the bill. So I am anticipating it being back to normal come the December bill. But for November, I did go ahead and have them turn off the auto pay. I will pay this manually myself. I will pay the full amount, the $68. But because of that, it'll be after the 14th. So I went ahead and removed it from this week's budget here. So I did transfer $10 out of my bills account into my variable expense account so that I could do a transfer Tuesday of $40, which you guys might have seen that video already. So it was a total of $101 for bills. Remember, anything in blue is the bomb. Anything in pink is a problem. So for this, although it was for a good reason and I was paying more money on my city credit card, I do have it in pink because it was an expense that I was not expecting to have for my bills account. So I did want to document that there. As far as my expenses are concerned, I did take a total of $240 to spend on my everyday purchases, $60 for Monday Mini, just as I expected. So total income was $429 that I rolled over. My total bills that I spent was $10 higher. Everything else was the way it's supposed to be. So my total that I have left over in my bills account should be $28. I have $30 even. That's why I wrote that down here. And I'm sure that's change accounted for within all of the different numbers that I have documented there. So the $30 is what I was actually rolling over. And we'll talk about that in the budget with me portion of this in a minute. I did want to cover really quickly, because today is the 13th, last day for tracking as far as my expenses are concerned. These are the expenses that went to my Ally credit card. And these are all of the expenses that I've had from 11/7 to 11/13. So the first thing you might notice is I'm no longer filling up a whole page. Look, I'm going to count my blessings where I can. So I really am working on curbing my spending overall. Secondly, you'll notice that I really only have 3 categories here. My subscriptions, where Disney Plus came out and Apple Care came out. Also, Xerxes had a grooming appointment, so that was $61. That's what you see here. And then senior items, the diploma fee that I had to pay for Corinne, and then to order her senior announcements, I have that amount as well. So I've got 3 different categories that I am tracking here for the expenses that I made on the Ally credit card. Remember, I'm starting to track everything separately. My Ally credit card expenses are going to be on one expense sheet. My bills account expenses are going to be on another expense tracker, and that's one that I got from the Budget Mom. This is it. I have that for bills account. I have one for my Ally checking account for my everyday expenses. That's that groceries, gas, and all of that stuff. My Me Money account, I am tracking that as well. Again, I'm trying to be more diligent about exactly where I'm spending my money, so that I can find the money wherever I can for the Transfer Tuesdays, or to put more money on my city credit card debt. Now, what you might notice here in green, though, is good. It's a good news story for me. Y'all be happy with me, for me. Say yay in the comments. So I had oral surgery back in September to have a tooth removed. I had an initial appointment that I had to have, and it cost me $149 for that. That was just the standard fee for the appointment that I had overall. The dentist office that I typically go to could not perform the tooth extraction there. So they sent me to a different business in order to handle it. And so I had to pay $149 off the rip for them to even see me. The second charge you see here was for $176 that I paid, and that's because they did more x-rays. I went there with my x-rays. They wanted to do some additional x-rays, and so that cost me another $176. And then I had the actual surgery itself, and that cost me $250. Now, the $250 I knew I was going to have to pay. That was my portion after the insurance company pays. But the young lady in the office said, look, I'm going to submit to your insurance company for the initial referral, as well as the extra x-rays that we had to produce. And she said, so they may cover those costs. Now, that was back in September. So August, September area. And so at the end of September, I got a bill. I paid the $149 right out of the pocket. I got the bill for the $176. I waited until the end of September. They were still there. Insurance company still had not responded. I waited until the end of October. It was still there. The insurance company still had not responded. So I went ahead and paid the $176. Lo and behold, earlier this week, the $149, and I noticed that I had a credit on my Ally credit card for $149 and $176. So it turns out the insurance company finally responded, and they did cover the cost. So the company reimbursed me, or sent me back via the credit card that I used to pay them. They sent back the credit the same way. So that was a good, wonderful, beautiful thing that I saw on my Ally credit card, and saw that amount. So in essence, now, if you guys can believe it, you'll notice that it shows that my balance now on my credit card is negative $158.44. So what happened was, back on the 9th, I made a payment of $2,647.99. That was how much I was due on there. And that's 3 weeks, I think it was, of expense tracking. I kept the money in my Ally high yield savings account to get the interest on it. And then I moved it over to my checking account, and I paid off my credit card. And that's typically what I do. I reconcile my numbers every week. I take whatever that amount is, and I put it in Ally in a high yield savings bucket titled Ally credit card payment. let it stay there until the 9th when my new statement comes in, get my interest from it, and then I go ahead and pay the credit card. So that's what I did here. That's what you see here. And then here, the same day or that evening is when they gave me the money back, the 176 and the 149, which means I have a credit. So I literally have $158.44 that I can still spend to even get back to zero on my credit card. So I let them cover the cost of all of these so far, and I still have some more purchases that I need to make for Corinne for her senior dues and some other things as well. So I'm going to go ahead and make those purchases also and let it eat up that credit that I have, since I've already accounted for this money out of the household miscellaneous account. So that's good. I was happy about that piece. I just wanted to share and say, hey, Monique finally got a little bit of good news. All right. So now let's look at the budget. So if you guys are watching the video right before this one, if you watched the video right before this one, you know that I worked through my budget and exactly how much I needed to have as far as the next 4 paycheck cycles are concerned. So remember, I always, after I get paid, when I got paid on November the 1st, I started to work through what I needed to set aside money for on the 15th, the 29th, the 13th, and the 27th for November, for the rest of November, and for also December. And you guys saw me if you watched that video. It's a hot mess. It's the messy side of my budget, but it was just a good example of how I work through these numbers. So now I'm going to use this to fill out this. Some of this stuff I already had because I knew it wasn't going to change. And some of it I was like, I don't know what I'm going to be able to do. So let's talk about it now. So I am rolling over $30 here. I expect to get $13.75 in my bills account, $8.50 in my variable account, and then Micah should be giving me $50 as well. So if we add all of those numbers together, $13.75, $8.50, and $50 is $2,305. Okay. Next, we've decided water is $68. Mortgage, I'm going to go ahead and pay $200. Auto, I am going to go ahead and pay $100. And we talked about the reason why for that. And then everything else should match up. Kohl's is right. Green Sky is right. Rooms to Go is right. Best Buy, City, Gas South, and Nelnet. Yes, Nelnet. All right, so tithes, car insurance, pet insurance are automatically deducted before I even get my money into my accounts. Just as an FYI, that's why you never see those listed there. And that's the reason why. So 68 plus 200, 100, 50, 90. What does that say? 100, 50, 200, 102, 45. $1,005. And that's what you see here, $1,005. Okay. As far as my high priority sinking funds, bonus kids gets 20, subs is going to get 120, Xerxes gets 20, property insurance gets 80, buffer is going to get 100, and this time I'm not going to contribute anything to emergency. So that's 20, 20, 80, 120, 100. It's $340. $340. Okay. Got that. As far as, so groceries, I think I'm going to do 100. And I'm going to give 10 to buffer because I want to start having a little bit of a buffer as well. So 100, 40, 30, 30, 20, 20, and 10, $250. So I got that, $250 for that. And then for the Monday Mini, I'm going to give $160 now towards that. So if you watch my last Monday Mini, then you know I'm going to be doing that a little bit differently. I'm only going to contribute from my paycheck money to my high priority sinking funds. And now I'm going to specifically use Monday Minis to fund my low priority sinking funds and my emergency prep binder as well. So instead of just having this at $120, which is typical $60 every week, I bumped that up to $160. I'm going to do $100 the first week, and that's going to be geared towards the low priority binder. I'm going to do $60 for that Monday Mini on week 2, and that's going to be for the emergency prep binder. This will allow me some extra money so that I can actually put another $50 towards debt. Again, you know, that's my main focus right now. All right, and let me make sure I have this right. So with my 100 envelope challenge, I've completed section 1 and section 2 already. So section 1, $55 done. Section 2, $155. And this version of the 100 envelope challenge that fits into this smaller A6 binder came from BZ's Things, and it was very reasonable in cost. And it made things a little bit easier than trying to fit money in and out of those little pockets. That was driving me bananas. All right, so section 3 is the one that we're working on now. For section 3, I have left 27, 28, and 29. 27, 28, and 29. And that puts me at 84. I wanted to be around the $100 mark, so I'm going to go up. I've got the money for 30 already in here, so I'm going to go up to section 4 and go to 31. And that gives me a total of $115. So I'm going to be able to fill in 4 envelopes for a total of $115. And that's what you see there as my amount. Wait a minute. Got drama happening over there in the corner. All right, so there you go. That's that $115 that you see there. So that is 100 plus 60, 115, and 50 equals $325. And what you'll notice here, $325 was how much I was anticipating on my messy sheets. All right, $325. So let's see what we have. 2305, and that is minus 1,005. Savings, this one, 325. Expenses, 250. And debt is now showing sinking funds. So total debt, I changed that to total sinking funds. It's $340. All right, 2305 minus 1005 minus 325 minus 250 minus 340. 380, at least $385. All right, there you go. Now, this $385, I will roll that over, and the next week, all I have to worry about is going to be my variable expenses, because I've already accounted for two weeks of the Monday Mini, but I've not accounted for 2 weeks of my variable expenses. Once that money comes out, which I'm anticipating it just being that $250, that should leave me more money at that point to put towards extra debt, but we'll see. For this bi-weekly budget, I did decide to cover all of the bills at one time in that 2-week period. I decided to cover all of the Monday Mini in that 2-week period. And like I mentioned before, the only thing that's going to be left for me to worry about are my variable expenses, my everyday charges that I have to do. But it looks like I should have a total of $385 left over at that time. Okay. I will cash plan later on off camera, and then I will cover this and how everything broke down before I do the cash stuffing, which is what you probably will see done on Saturday. Now, what I can also tell you is that, remember, in the bills account, we already had $30 rolled over, so we're accounting for that in the budget we just talked about. The everyday expenses right now, I have a total of $81.64 remaining. I'm going to just keep that in there, roll it over, add in that $250 that I just talked about for my variable expenses that I'm going to allot for this week. So I'm going to go ahead and add that in here, and we're going to keep moving things along. At the end of next week, I may pull some of this money to go towards a city credit card payment. We'll see. And then in Me Money, I have $18.34. So what I am anticipating having to take $5 and transfer it to savings. That's what keeps me from having to pay any monthly charges for these bank accounts. So if you take that away, that still would leave me $13. Now, I might add an extra 10. I don't know. I might add an extra 10 to that extra debt amount that I gave you, the $50. I might add an extra 10 for the Transfer Tuesday that I need to do. So what you will see is beforehand, so on Friday, let's go back. as far as the city credit card debt is concerned. On Friday, I'm going to make a payment of $200. That's the normal payment that I need to make for that particular bill overall. And that's what I will do on Friday. On Tuesday, you'll see me pay either an extra $50 or potentially an extra $60 if I still have that Me money in there. So this is all getting me closer to my goal for this month, for the month of November, to pay at least $500 on that card. All right, I think that is it. Thanks everybody for your time. You guys have a good one.